Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Hey, what's up, freaks and geeks, boys and girls? Welcome back to MaffmanJones Movie Reviews. I am John Maffio, and today's featured movie to be reviewed is the fifth installment in a franchise, an action franchise which is pretty popular, the Die Hard franchise, and this one is called A Good Day to Die Hard. It stars my main man, obviously, Bruce Willis, and also a newcomer who is Jai Courtney, who is known for Spartacus. The plot of this movie takes place a little bit further with progression of Live Free or Die Hard, and John McClane, he's just hanging out, and his son, who is older now, obviously, he's running around in Russia, and supposedly he's a CIA agent who's performing some spy tricks. And John McClane, who hears that his son might be in trouble, decides to take a vacation to Russia. What he doesn't understand, however, is that there is a bigger picture to this situation, and the people that John McClane's son is chasing, they have nuclear bombs, potentially, and they could harm and threaten the rest of the world with these weapons. So after this long-awaited reunion, John McClane and his son must team up despite their differences to face this global threat. This new installment, people were looking forward to it, but people were skeptic and a little cautious. I was too. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not the biggest fan of Die Hard, but I really enjoyed the movies. I own Die Hard with a Vengeance on DVD and Blu-ray because that's my favorite of the bunch. Creating a thought process ahead of time, I would assume that Die Hard 5 wouldn't be a great movie, but an enjoyable one because it's coming out in February and the talent behind it isn't so hot. So after seeing it, I would come to the conclusion that it's basically that. But it's not as bad as people are saying because this movie's being ripped to shreds everywhere. Die Hard 5 is not a terrible movie by any means, but it's just there. It's like that kid at your high school cafeteria lunch table that is just there and doesn't really do anything, but he's just part of the group, but you just tolerate him. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. I thought the chemistry between Jai and Bruce, father and son, it wasn't good, but it was serviceable enough to carry the weight of the movie and get the audience to the end point. And the movie's only an hour and a half, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of struggled watching this hour and a half. Not that the pacing is all that bad, it's just that the way that the movie is structured, it just felt like a fight to get to the end of the movie. And look, I'm talking about the pros, and I've already gone off track into negatives. So it shows how, you know what, maybe the movie is that bad. Maybe I'm just in denial. And also the action, while highly cartoony and ridiculously implausible, it was fun and very entertaining, and I got a kick out of some of the aspects of the action too. The only big problem with this that lies is that the original Die Hard movies, maybe not Live Free or Die Hard, but the original great classics, they had their fair share of cartoony action and implausibilities, but you had a sense of realism and you could hold your suspension of disbelief. The last act, the big final sequence, takes place in Chernobyl, and as we all know, Chernobyl is full of deadly radiation. Everybody's wearing these suits to protect themselves, but in the movie, John McClane and his son walk in there in regular clothing like it's nothing. Literally, this movie should have ended with the caption of John McClane and his son, a month later, died from heavy exposure to radiation. Not bullets or giant explosions, but radiation. Not that the plots for the other four installments were anything deep or intellectual, but the plot for this film is really criminally shallow and predictable and very forgettable, and it's also very confusing too because there's twists and turns towards the second act and third act of the movie which don't make any sense, and there's plot holes everywhere. It's highly apparent through the action scenes especially, but throughout this movie the editing is very choppy and there's also a very severe lack of suspense and thrill. The biggest problem with this is that John McClane and his son felt like superheroes, like Batman and Robin, except Batman and Robin if they just were invincible. And that's not Die Hard, because Die Hard is about an everyday, average man who's put in a very insurmountable situation, and now the son's involved. But they're just going around killing everybody without a scratch. Feels like I just took a great descent into chaos and rage because I originally said this movie wasn't that bad, but I've been yelling at it constantly throughout this review. But just thinking about it now, Good Day to Die Hard, It's not a terrible movie. It's enjoyable. It has entertainment value. It's just very predictable, forgettable. The most you're going to get out of this movie is some fun laughs, maybe 2 or 3 from some really good one-liners from John McClane, which are that's still apparent in this movie, thankfully. And the action. A Good Day to Die Hard is a Sam Worthington, which is a 2 out of 5 stars. And in regards to the One Night Stand rating, which basically supplements replay value, it gets a 3 out of 5. If you saw A Good Day to Die Hard or you plan to see it, let me know what you think about it or thought about it in the comments down below. If you like this review, please subscribe to MaffmanJones and also like this video. Check out Facebook, Twitter, and We Live Film in the info box. I am John Maffio of MaffmanJones Movie Reviews, and that R rating for this movie was really light. Aside from a couple curses and F-bombs, didn't do it for me. See you next time.